Hello, everybody. We are live here on Popcorn Planet on YouTube and Fandom Wire News over on Facebook. So happy to be here. It's daily show live every day around 2 p.m. And man, two awesome stories just broke. I'm so excited we get to talk to you guys about. You guys can leave your comments down below on either platform. We'll be seeing and sharing some of them. And my YouTubers, you can go support over with Super Chats. You'll get in the conversation immediately. But thank you guys so much for joining us. We got two awesome people here to talk about it with me. Let's meet them. We got Lewis is back, Nerd Lecca. Always good to have you, my man.
Thanks, Andy. Pleasure to be here.
And so happy to have Chris Walker. Chris Walker's become a friend of mine. He was on Nerd Wars.
What's up, guys?
He's a fan, and he's been helping a bunch behind the scenes. Thanks for stepping up and for being a cool dude and all that stuff. I'm happy to have you in the conversation again, Chris. You excited about this news?
I am. There's some good stuff to talk about, and some of it hits home, so it's good to talk about.
Yeah, it's kind of good news, bad news. Where do we want to start? Let's start with the good news. Should we start with the good news? Because I think this is the cool news. So hold on, I'm gonna share this because for those of you who haven't seen it yet, the Batmobile has finally been revealed from Matt Reeves. Now, I see fans are already sort of confused or not. People still, you can't please anybody in this world nowadays. But let's look through it. Let's go through this. Hold on, where did I go? Close this. There we go. Share this screen. Hold on. I have the screen up. There we go. Share it over here. And bam. Okay. Share my screen. It's there. Cool. Okay. Now you guys can see it, right? Okay, cool. So I wanted to throw this in Photoshop because we can really go through these images in high detail and I can lift up the exposure on them. We can really just get ingrained to what these are. But let me just do a quick slideshow so we can all sort of for the first time go, ooh, look, it's definitely a more, scaled back, minimalist, realistic version, I guess is what they're doing. Like this shot looks like the back of a DeLorean. It looks like sort of they're comboing the DeLorean with sort of and it's like a Fast and the Furious Charger. It feels like. Before we sort of zoom in and get even more detail on this, what are your Lewis? Let's go to you first. I don't hate it. I want to see it in motion before I really make my judgment call. We're definitely getting a new look and a new feel for this kind of Batman, which kind of gets me excited. But Lewis, what are your thoughts?
I like it, but reactions mixed. But with DC always gets the bad end of the stick, I think. So you have to grade it on a curb. I think this looks really good. The image is a little dark. The car is a little basic. But you just said something very interesting, which is it looks realistic, maybe grounded in more reality. And that's when DC is at its best. When the films are grounded in reality, no over CGI. You could say Aquaman made $1 billion, but we still talk about The Dark Knight. Joker revolutionized the world last year. So if they're going realistic, I'm in. This looks like Christian Bale with a different Batmobile to me, a Corvette.
So as we pump it up, you can really get a closer look of what this thing actually looks like when we take, just go the exposure and we can zoom in and now we can sort of get more detail on this car. Look, I think it looks cool. It looks, much more scaled back. It looks like, all right, well, this would be if Batman was really making his first, car. It's more sort of realistic of what it is. There's clearly some stuff inside we have yet to see. There's clearly some supercharged thing on the back. It doesn't have the typical look, that's for sure. But at the same time, I've seen some comments in there. Reminds me of the '60s Batmobile in the back. Yeah, I mean, I see a little bit of that. Some of the cow to see, but let's not bury the lead here. Like this is a first sort of official.
There's actually a big reveal there.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson, probably I would assume in full sort of regalia.
Something bigger than that.
Oh,
you know what it is?
I zoom out on this.
You're there. Well, there was a big debate whether or not he wears a cape.
Oh, the cape. Yeah, the cape.
Yes, there was the debate whether or not he wears the cape, and now we have confirmation. Yes, the Batman will have a cape.
Batman has a cape. It's totally true. We got it there. Let's pump up the image on all of these because I think as you guys see it, you'll see more. I like the
Photoshop car. Lesson. Thank you, Andy.
Yeah. So we're doing some Photoshop. It's like I suck at Photoshop, but here we go. Let's put this up. We can get a sense of let's zoom in on Batman first because you're right. This cowl looks. I mean, the cowl and the cape do look a little cooler here. I gotta admit.
Yeah,
you're still far back. They're pretty far back on the helmet. Like you can see how big his head is here. So I don't know why they chose to put it so far back. I wish it was just like right here. It's such a simple thing, but I understand. Do you guys? Is it anyone else bothered by that, or is it just me?
Just
fine
you.
With it. Yeah, I'm fine.
I mean, maybe it looked better, but it's not a deal breaker for me. The shoulder, the neck part looks a little weird. But
I agree. That's the one that. Go ahead, Chris.
the neck part is the thing that really always gets me. From the first images that we saw a couple of weeks ago to these, the neck looks too big. Like, what is he hiding in there?
I don't know if this is CG. There's been rumor. That's why we didn't see another shot, like that they're doing CGK. But I mean, this looks perfect, right? That could be. This could all be digital work. Obviously, test images while they're on set. You can do some. I don't know. Did you guys ever watch that Mandalorian behind the scenes? Holy moly!
Yeah, that was incredible.
Crazy how effects have just increased. But as we zoom, so we got a nice try there. But as we increase this exposure to really check out the front, we can get a little bit more detail to sort of really get just blowing it out. But let's just look. He's got like different colored side panels. Looks like it's just all done himself, but there is sort of that shape, right? Does feel pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it. I'm digging it.
I'm not against this so far. But let's get a good shot of that back before we really make all our final decisions. Here was shot 3. And let's just zoom in. Sorry, I'm not used to my PC Photoshop. Yeah, I used to. We got a little blurry, sort of more of the cape and those arm bands. We got a little shot of him sort of mid-walk with.
But why no face? Is it because it's not Robert Pattinson? Why did they cut it right there at the neck? That's my. This would have been a great image.
It's so small, anyway. But yeah, a good point. I don't know, but I gotta assume that is Robert Pattinson. To put the stunt guy in here again would be kind of silly. But let's go in and see a little bit more. You can see some controls in there through the back window, and you got this HAL 2000 type engine. But let's go in and boost this up so we can really get a good. Woo, that's too much.
Whoa.
We can get a little bit more details what they're trying to hide there.
Like a doomsday blast.
This one's really more just they sort of already gave it to you, but as we zoom in, you get these details on this, like it looks like Bane's mask or something, and you got a lot of like little. There's the wheel, and you got some fancy tech inside. You can actually see a little better once we zoom in for the darker part here. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's clear. It looks retro, but still some pieces of new, because that's, I assume, a touch screen. So it's not like we're going in some weird time warp, because we haven't been confirmed. Is it what we don't know what year it takes place, right? But this looks like a touchscreen to me. So there's clearly some future technology in the film, which implies more present day at least. But yeah, this back of the engine, I don't know what the hell it is, but it makes it look a little bit obviously not a normal car. That's what the clear vibe here is.
Definitely beefed up.
Yeah, Dominic Toretto would be very jazzed to have. Yeah, and just say, there you go, Adrian. You and I are the same. It looks like a muscle Batman car.
That's exactly, yeah.
Yeah, which do we have a problem with that?
No, not really. I was never into Batmobile stuff. I'm more of a what is it? The bike.
Oh, yeah.
Batmobile.
Backcycle, whatever it's called. I think that's cooler. But yeah, no, it looks. I think it'll work. I like the idea of Gotham. They did something real cool in the show. Is Gotham in the show on the Fox TV show? It was a place that was like you couldn't tell what time it took or what era it was in, because they had old cars from the 30s and then phones, but they were flip phones, so it's like you couldn't tell. So Gotham was always its own thing. And also what I liked in the behind the scenes documentary with Todd Phillips and Joker, he said in his mind it was like a 81 vibe, but they never established it. They said there's no it's not really 1981, it's just an era he remembers when he left New York. So it could have been today. Who knows? It's Gotham. It's a time warp. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, this is probably my favorite shot out of the three. I kind of dig this like regular car. I kind of dig like we're year 2 is what we've sort of been told. We're year 2 in a Batman who's already been through the origin, and he's got a car. He's got a car that he's beefing up, but it's not like, because Tim Burton, all of them, the Tumbler, even to an extent, they're just so advanced. It feels like I like the slow build of like earning the bigger things. Because I'll be honest, Batman Begins is still my favorite of that trilogy. I know it's a popular opinion for some, but for me, I loved the climb of watching him get to it. And then, Dark Knight was just like a great, like, oh yeah. And then it tapers out for me for Dark Knight Rises. But I love this idea of getting back in, sort of like, this is basically taking after Batman Begins. It's like, all right, we've already gotten through it. Let's get into that meat, like Dark Knight, that phase, which I thought was, I want to see more of chapters in that middle, right? And so to see finally like middle chapters that we can just sort of have some Batman detective stories. You know, I don't want him to have some crazy. If he has a crazy future car, just sort of it makes it too Schumacher-esque or even Burton-esque. I would argue, just like we're not in a realistic world. And so if he can actually tone this down, still give it the feel of the comics, but give us more of this sort of real look with some future tech in the back, etc. Dude, I'm into it. I can't complain about this.
It's funny how this image, the first one they show, the Batmobile, looks almost like the one when they first revealed the Batmobile with Ben Affleck. If you look at that picture for Batman vs. Superman, it's kind of like the same thing.
We're standing next to it. Yeah.
Yes, the same, grainy image and stuff. Also, a lot of the fans, I would like to respectfully say this. People are bothered. They're like, oh, he's too skinny. In real life, the thin guys that are lanky, they're the ones that kick everyone's butt in boxing, kickboxing. The buff guys cannot fight worth crap. So you could bench press a zillion pounds in the gym. Those are the guys I usually go to the gym. I used to love sparring because they make me look good because they couldn't fight. It's the skinny, lanky guys that were flexible, fast, and could snap their strikes and knock you out. So this Batman, it's fine thin. If he was too bulky, that's not realistic.
Yeah, here's a comment I like. Omega Parks, that's true because he's making mistakes in the beginning, so it would be cool to see him wreck the car and have to change cars. Like that's what I'm about. Like let's see him F up, let's see him screw it up, let's see him learn, let's see him adapt and get to the level that we expect a Batman to do. But yeah, I want a couple Batman movies. Like it'd be nice to have Batman to stick with for a little while. And if this does work, this allows him to make those mistakes. So I'm jazzed. Matt Reeves Batmobile side by side with Snyder's Batmobile. Seems like the Reeves Batmobile could become the Snyder Batmobile. Yeah, and that's what I like about it. We're seeing the beginning of it, right? We're seeing the I agree. Batman animated series has an Art Deco forever vibe, old timey buildings and cars with high tech computers. Yeah, I mean, I think again we can get to it, right? So this to me feels like a smart bridge that I think Matt Reeves is doing to get us there. Yeah, I mean, look, there's not much more reveal. He left. He didn't even tweet anything in his tweet. It just said the Batman because he knew. But some of the reactions there are pretty. People are digging it. In fact, let me share that screen since we'll do one last little slide through. Boom. I like that a lot though. I love this is just a great piece. That's a cool piece of art.
Cool poster.
Yeah, with the enhanced exposure. Yeah,
it looks good there with the cape going back and along with the shape of the car, and it's not too crazy of a car. But it's a cooler car. I'm on board. And then I want to know what this power is, what's going on. This to me was a cool reveal. Good job to Matt Reeves and crew for putting it out there. You guys have any thoughts? As I want to pull up the Twitter reaction so we can sort of react.
I feel like this was released because starting probably tomorrow, they're probably going to be shooting, and they don't want those paparazzi videos to start hitting, looking silly and ridiculous because most of these superheroes do look silly in real life. That's without the color filter films offer, right? When you see a movie, there's a filter on them. That's why everyone looks handsome and every woman looks beautiful, and everything looks great because there's a filter. But in real life, it looks iffy, right? So I think they're going to start filming. Expect videos to start hitting the internet very soon, maybe tomorrow.
No, you're 100% correct. Even before I go to these, I think that was why we got that first image of Pattinson's test too, because they knew, okay, we're going to London. Pieces are going to start happening. So let's control the narrative and make sure we're putting out looks that we approve and we like. And this was a way smarter reveal with these shots than some stupid blurry paparazzi. What the hell's that Batmobile? Why is that? We can actually digest it. And it's weird how fandom works nowadays, right?
Because it ran out of gas. How does Batman run out of gas?
But yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? Like now in fandom, you got to sort of prep for that. You got to prep your prep images even before you even trailers and posters, just because you're shooting around town. These are in demand images. You gotta be ready for it. So I like it. So let's go back to let's see what so online feedback's been pretty fast seatbelts. Why does Batman look like he's giving me the side eye look? I don't know. All of this, yes. Dark and the Furious, the Bat and the Furious. That was the kind of Batmobile I was hoping for. Matt, I love you, dude. Why is Vin Diesel wearing a cowl, and why is the Dodge Charger looking horny? Good question. CW called. They want their Batman and their car back. Ooh. But overall, please, if Johnny Depp as Joker, come on, that's not happening. Give us a trailer. I mean, so feedback on here's. I was looking earlier too. It's beautiful. Fans are positive.
Release the Snyder cut.
Snyder cultists are coming.
Oh.
Batmobile is amazing, but let's talk. That suit also looks amazing. Scalloped cape is back. No flat bottom junk. Ears look wicked, along with the cowl and the cape drapes over his shoulders. Yeah, look, the Batman fans are having it. Yeah, you can see it. He's right. It comes back here. So we got a lot of detectives online all trying. But here's that comparison shot of it's true. But this looks like a spaceship. This never looked like a car. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have this designed by serious engineers and mechanics to like build a new car. What I like about this is like, this feels like a car, right? This is
man, did that Ben Affleck Batmobile have heavy artillery, man? That was dope. I mean, it was too dark to watch, and the film was like poorly executed. But when it was shooting its stuff out, wow, that was cool to watch. Why can't he have a few cars? Why can't he have a few?
I think he's gonna.
He probably did.
Yeah, you know.
But I mean, you look at this car, which, come on, it looks awesome. I'm not denying it, but this looks like year 5, year 6, right? You upgraded it over your years of experience. So if we're starting out, to me, it's just too much right out the gate. But yeah, exactly. Someone else feeling Back to the Future vibes on the back. It absolutely feels that way. Some of these are bad words. Anyway, the overall.
There we go. Look at this.
Compared to the Dodge Charger there. It does feel it is that vibe, but that's what he went for. He went for the realistic look. So I'm on board. I like it. Overall, it looks like we got good thoughts. Any final words before we move on to topic 2? And if you guys want to, I've tried to get some of you in. You can go over SuperChat over YouTube to get into the conversation anytime you want and support the stream. Lewis, any final thoughts before we move on?
I think that brand of car is going to shoot up in the dealership. I think that's going to be in high demand and stuff. And the realistic look, I love it. And hopefully, I know it's not going to happen, but maybe Joaquin Phoenix's Joker will show up.
No, come on. That'd be stupid.
Maybe. No, wouldn't. No, wouldn't.
Yeah,
everything's stupid, Andy. It's a guy dressed up like a bat.
No, they just did.
You don't think a guy dressed up like a bat solving crimes is stupid?
First. If the Joker could have his own movie, let's get used to Robert Pattinson first. Let's see if it works.
No, that's fine. That's fine. No, but in the future, you up for it?
And is Joaquin Phoenix just going to be older? I don't even know how that.
Well, look. Spoiler alert. From what I understand, he's 30 in the movie.
Batman?
No,
the Joker.
Oh, he's 30 in Joker.
Yes. No one.
So, that was what, year 1980. So what would that be? How long ago? 30 years ago?
35, 37.
He would be
9 years ago now.
Plus, he never goes toe to toe against Batman in a fist fight. Batman will kick his ass. Batman's a ninja. Joker just uses thugs, and he's an a-hole. So they would never fight toe to toe. Of course, Batman's always going to beat him, but Joker, I think it's all right. Vin Diesel could date. What is he? He's in his 50s. He could date 21-year-olds in his movies. Batman could fight an old man in his movie. I don't know. Let's just do it.
Oh, I think we lost Andy.
He looks good. That's a good pose there, right there. Okay, so he's having some internet trouble. Yeah. Chris, what do you think of this Batmobile and the response? He'll probably come back in a bit.
Yeah.
The response we're getting on Twitter.
Well, I mean, everyone always is excited for what the Batmobile is going to look like, and we've always gotten a different one with every single different Batman. So it's no surprise that this is a different looking Batmobile. And Andy, make a great point. It's year 2, so of course it's going to be a normal looking car. I like the fact that it does have that touchscreen, but that old school look. So it's kind of like steampunk. Batman's always got that steampunk feel to it, just like in Gotham, like you were saying, flip phones but old school cars. Flip phone cell phones, but old school. It's got that steampunk feel. So
nice. And he's back. Nice to have you, man.
So anyway, good chat there in the Batmobile. That's what we think. Thank you guys for chiming in. It looks like a lot of you agreed. Yes, thank you, Ben. Ben Free, thanks. Jamie McCormick, I'm not sure yet. We got Christopher McCormick. They should have done this. They should have done these films to set up the DCU and yeah, I agree. A Batman before would have been smart. But keep the comments coming. Thank you guys for the support. Here we go. We got one supporter. This says, give us Willem Dafoe as Joker already. Ooh, I like that.
He's good, man. He's good. I'm down with that. He's already. They don't have to spend money on the smile. He's got.
He could be old Joaquin Phoenix, maybe.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Just have him play the old Joaquin Phoenix.
Or he could be old William Dafoe.
Yeah. That's a thank you for the support there, Dark Side. The super
He's
chat.
great. That's a great suggestion.
That is a really good. I hadn't thought of that one. Yeah, Johnny Depp. I don't know. I don't have a problem with him. I think he is getting screwed right now in the media, but I don't think that's right.
Depp would be more of a Heath Ledger style to me.
Yeah, no, I think the Depp call would be a Jared Leto. I feel like it's like we seem to have good Batman, bad Batman, or good Joker, bad Joker. Good. There's always like there needs to be a palate cleanser in between the next good Joker. So I feel like anybody who takes that role after Joaquin is going to have a tough time because it's going to be that too risky. And then, okay, now you brought it back. I don't know how many times you can keep doing the Joker.
Well, I think every Joker has a really, really good fan base except Jared Leto.
Yeah, I mean,
he's the only one. I mean, look at everyone likes Jack Nicholson. What's it called? The guy from the '60s. Damn, what's his name? Cesar Romero has a huge fan base. Heath Ledger, except Suicide Squad Joker.
Yes,
the one we have now.
Hola, Jose. Thanks from Puerto Rico.
Boricua.
Love Puerto Rico. I have a lot of loved ones out in Puerto Rico, so good to throw you some love there. Thank you for saying hi. Anyway, now let's move on to topic 2 of this stream. We got a whole nother story, even though that Batmobile is pretty epic in itself. Let me share my screen again. Word just came in, the bad news. I think for a lot of people, this is a bummer, and I want to talk about what we think this really is. This going to actually help the film? Is this the right thing to do? But story number 2, the corona. I'm not going to call it that.
Uh-oh.
Could be losing.
Notice how when he said it?
Yeah. It was just like when we were talking. You guys were doing the Batman pictures.
Okay, so let's move on with this, Chris. So listen, here's the deal. That thing, the Budweiser. Yeah, because we want to give a shout out to that company as well. It's not fair. The other one's making all the money with all the free advertisement. It's caused a few delays. Variety is reporting right here. You can see the headline. The film's been postponed, and I believe till November. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yep. Yeah, it was November because they're saying that November is going to be really crowded now. So they're wondering why November.
Yeah, and the thing is, we've seen that, there hasn't been that much advertisement for this film, so it kind of makes sense, because it gives them a little bit more time to edit, maybe.
Sorry, I'm back. I don't know why I'm under pressure, but so anyway, did you tell them we're calling? We're not. We don't want to say this word because somehow the AI bots just automatically demonetize the video. So let's give another beer some promotion. We're gonna call it the Bud Light.
That's what we've been doing. It's not fair.
So the Bud Light dilemma here is causing this to postponing the film. Now, look, there's so many.
All right.
Oh boy.
Okay, we have a super chat, but I'll wait till Andy reads that one off. If not, he'll take care of it. But we want to appreciate everyone who's supporting this channel. Andy works extremely hard with this channel, so all the super chats, small and large, are all appreciated and stuff. So yeah, once again, the Budweiser thing is causing havoc. We've seen theaters close in Italy. We've seen conventions have statements, some of them canceling, some of them letting their customers know that they have an eye on it and they're going to side on precaution. What do you think? Do you think this is a knee jerk, or do you think it's better safe than sorry, or is it a financial decision?
Thank you, Lewis. I don't know what's happening, but anyway,
no problem.
I keep cutting, just keep talking about the story. But I do want to call out Absent Good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Absent Good, for that support. That means a lot. Keeps the station going. I saw you and Jody go last night and loved it. Sorry I couldn't contribute. Love the look of the Batmobile, and you keep being honest and real. I will keep supporting you as much as I can. Thanks, man. Yeah, if you guys haven't watched, anybody who's tuning in now, go watch last night's stream. With Jody.
It was epic.
It was good. It got really good, and I'm reinventing the whole way we do these.
I had to call you. I had to text you and go, dude, was that personal? No, we're good. We're good.
It was just a real two friends really getting into it, having fun, real serious conversations, not even just movies, but we're going to keep it real and raw and honest. So Absent Good, thank you so much for the support. I'll tell Jody you stepped up, because sometimes he doesn't always, Jody calls him out. But anyway, thank you for that call out. But I want to get back to this point before I get kicked off my internet. I guess the Bud Light is trying to get rid of it. But yeah, as you can share the screen or the article. I guess I got to see if I can let you have access to somebody, Lewis. But let's try one more time. And if it doesn't, then we'll have to reset. But this it's Bud Light stories. The Corona.
Damn, you're like you're making your own rule, man.
The Bud Light dilemma. It's weird because there's a lot of ways you can look at this, right? Because they're the first one to do it. So in one ways, it's weird because they might be smart in that, okay, well, at least now they're locking in a new November date, competing with a lot of other movies, but at least they did it, right? Whereas a lot of other studios have been debating whether they're going to do it. But now, like, MGM's like, nope, we're doing it. Sorry, bye. And so now the windows are going to start shrinking because we're going to double up releases this fall and winter if more studios start doing it. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of money on the line in these foreign markets that now theaters are getting closed and people are only going to assume it's getting worse, which is scary in another way because should we be doing pandemonium like this? It's an interesting debate. I personally, before we get kicked off, since it seems to be working, I personally think we got to I don't think we should be canceling everything just yet. Everything I've read, and I'm not an expert, so don't go talk to a doctor. I tried to get one on, but everything I've read, it's like, the people who are dying from this are, elderly and sick people. Like there's no children getting, it's like, it's an extreme flu. So you got to treat it like any flu or any sort of thing we've already had. So I feel like the people are going to make this crazier than potentially the thing itself, and moves like this are going to start making it even more seemingly. Well, now we got to cancel everything. There's talk about canceling South by Southwest because we don't want to be a breeding ground and get it. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? Was this a good move on MGM's part? Is this playing it too safe? Is this playing it too not safe enough? What are your thoughts?
Chris, would you like to go first?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So for me, it's a very interesting connection because I actually have a health condition where my immune system is compromised. So for me, I look at the story like this and I'm like, okay, I understand that, but people are still going to go to movies. People are still going to go to events. It doesn't matter what you cancel. People aren't going to sit in their homes and do nothing. So to me, delaying the movie, it's a little too safe, in my opinion. I think people who are diehard Bond fans were looking forward to this coming out when it was coming out. Daniel Craig's last Bond movie. Is he going to pass the torch? Everyone was kind of waiting and seeing on this. And then they do this. And to me, it was just a little too safe. I was very surprised already. And I've seen other things canceled. Game Developer Conference was canceled in San Francisco because of coronavirus.
The Bud Light.
Bud Light. Yep, Bud Light. The Bud Light. And I know, everything in China, Shanghai Disneyland shutting down and all that. So
yeah, I mean,
a little too far.
What's interesting is like it's clearly they're not doing this for safety. They're doing it because of money.
It's all financial.
That's what we got to first. You got to understand. So that's why you got to read this story the way it is and not freak out by it, because I think a lot of people will see these headlines and they're immediately going to be like, "Oh my God! Well, it must be getting worse. Everyone's going to die." And that's where I'm getting frustrated because it's like, guys, you got to.
The panicking's getting worse. The panicking's getting worse.
It's not saying that. Is it going to increase? Yes. Are there going to be? Is life going to be more inconvenience? Yes. Will there be more difficulties? Absolutely. But we can get through this if we don't freak out. We got to, because that's not what the CDC and everybody's telling us to do, because it's not what's happening. It's a glorified flu is what I've read in numerous cases. Again, not a doctor, but I've read doctors and see it's like, that's what it is. When you see the casualties and people involved in it, you got to really go through and get more facts. And it's frustrating. There aren't more doctors and people really publicly coming out to like calm the people down instead of just have the media, thing. But the biggest point of all this is for money. This isn't for safety. MGM thinks they're going to make more money by releasing it later, because then things will be cool down and they can release it in all territories.
Well, they're right. They're right.
Are they though, Louis? Now they're going in the crowded month of November, and they got one weekend, and then after Godzilla versus Kong, and now they're going up against Disney's animated Raya and the Last Dragon, which you want to go against Disney. Like, this doesn't give them as much leeway. April was pretty wide open potentially, and this could be dangerous because now there's a lot more competition for them to face. It makes me wonder: was it a good call?
Well, the advertisement has not been
Black Widow, and they would have owned April, made a lot of money, and then played a little bit through the beginning of May.
But the advertisement's not that big for the film as it is already. Maybe this works in their favor. Maybe they need a little bit more editing, and I don't know if the movie's already wrapped, but if they go back maybe in the editing room, maybe they're looking at that. There's 80,000 theaters in China closed. But
for one territory, which you can release it there later. Like, why wouldn't you just release it?
Pirating.
I worry it's going to get pirated anyway. The movie's done. The movie must be in post and like in a edit bay. You're going to hold on to it for 5 months. and let it start gathering some mothballs. That's risky, guys.
I'm not a big fan of this incarnation of James Bond, so I'm not really too tied into it. I think the question is more for the hardcore fans of the series. Are they disappointed with it and stuff like that? The only thing I'm looking at is that it's going to compete against Kong versus Godzilla or Godzilla versus Kong, and I want Kong versus Godzilla to make a crap load of money, and I think they're both going to be competing with that for that box office. It's going to hurt Godzilla versus King Kong because the last Godzilla film didn't perform and underperformed, and I loved it.
Well, we'll see about that. I mean, it was okay.
You have a super chat, by the way.
But I was gonna say there's a couple things because my next question is: do you think Mulan also should be pushed back?
That's weird. It's still going.
I mean, if any movie would have gotten delayed, I would have understood why Mulan got delayed, just because of the biggest country they're making that movie for doesn't have movie theaters that can play the movie. So, that one I sort of understand, but it's closer. It's like a month away versus 2 months away. So Bond is just playing it safe and jumping into a window now that Mulan's like, well, crap, what do we do now?
Well, I'm going to be watching that, and I think next week. So once they show it to us, that's got to go. It's got to be released no matter what, because they're not going to show it to us and then delay it.
Unless they decide to say they're not showing it to you and they're going to push it. That could happen.
That's the thing, yes.
They've already delayed it overseas, though.
Well, I was going to say, if they're pushing Mulan, if they push Mulan, will they push Black Widow is the next question. Because if Bond and now Mulan are gone, Black Widow is the biggest one. That's huge for Marvel, and they need that to do well for their new phase. Like this starts really completely checoing,
Well, Andy's having a little bit of trouble right there because of what's it called, Bud Light. But yeah, I just got a few text messages on the phone as we were talking. Some super fans, some 007 super fans saying, "I can't believe it's been delayed," and they're crying about it, man. So, are you a super fan, Chris?
I am not. No, and actually, while I don't hate Daniel Craig's rendition of Bond, he would not be in my top 3. So yeah, I'm not.
Who do you like?
My top is Sean Connery.
Okay.
Second would be Pierce Brosnan.
And guys in the chat, who's your favorite Bond? Because I'm a Roger Moore person, but
Roger Moore would be definitely third for me, and then Timothy Dalton, Daniel Craig, and George Lazenby.
Nice.
Oh, and so Riley should join us. Riley just had a scoop. Unconfirmed rumors suggest that the villain's plot features some type of virus, so this could contribute if true. Well, that would make sense then, because they don't want to release that if that is the case. Yeah. We won't really know that till November, but thank you for the chime in.
But is that the kind of world we're in now, where like if they have something like that, people are going to go, oh, and faint? Come on.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier is being rewritten because of Bud Light. Like they're rewriting.
Really?
Yeah. That's.
But yeah, my point is like this is going to cause a ripple effect, and that a lot of films are going to, I think, be affected because of this. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what actually happens with this. I think this was a weird. If there was some plot points where they were worried, I could see it, but that's still like what are you gonna? So in November, it's gonna be okay to make fun of Bud Light and
may get worse.
Exactly, like get it out, get it over with. They must have known for a while, but I still feel like there's still been. I guess they'd slowed down. I haven't seen marketing as much. Maybe that's why they've been debating this. But anyway,
it's a domino effect.
Exactly, it's gonna cause a lot.
This is like I said earlier in another previous show with you, Andy. The Asia or China closes their factories. It affects conventions here. It affects events because a lot of product is coming from there. To the people over there going to Costco, taking up all the water, please stop it. Us normal people want to drink water. At least once a day. You're dumb. But anyways, that being said, water is out in a lot of places. A lot of places like Costco. I'm selling mine on eBay, bottled of water for $30. My ID is blah 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 blah.
Well, no, it is, but it's true. The panic is starting to be dangerous. So everyone, look, everyone's got to do what they got to do, but everyone's buying those masks.
Yeah, terrible idea.
Hospitals don't have enough masks, and they actually
no one cared who I was until I put on a mask.
And everything I've read from health sites and stuff, it's like this is not an airborne virus. It's like you wear the mask if you're sick, and you avoid getting sneezed on. And the biggest tip, CDC, everyone's like, wash your hands. You gotta wash your hands. Use your elbows to turn off switches and things if you're in public. Like
fist bump.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to sort of work through this, and now that we've had time to prepare, I think we are going to be in a better spot until hopefully they figured out, but just like they figured out SARS and everything else. So I don't think this pandemonium is correct.